Hello folks, another shitty, rainy, horrible day here in England, and it's Saturday morning, so I thought I'd upload a video. I saw the other day that, I don't know if it's been finalised, but it looks like it's going to happen, excuse me, that Davin Haney will be defending all his lightweight titles against Lomachenko, the former pretty much undisputed champion. So yeah, I'm looking quite forward to that one. I like Lomachenko, and I do like Haney. I personally think Haney will win it, purely because of ring rust really. Lomachenko, he's had one fight, in a couple of years now, and he didn't look very good. He won the fight, but he didn't look particularly good in my opinion. So, yeah, I look forward to that one. However, excuse me, a bit disorganised this morning. So I've been chatting to somebody about Lomachenko and Haney, and I look forward to that one. Really looking forward to that one. But somebody said to me, who do you think the greatest lightweight of all time is? Well, it's Roberto Duran. I can't think of anybody else who has been a lightweight world champion. Kenny Buchanan was very good, but Roberto Duran, he reigned for such a long time. He beat all comers. He unified the title back in the old days when there was only two, and he was a savage. And just look at the guy, he's a legend. And then we got into it, we were talking about these things, and they said, who's your top 10 of all time, pound for pound, greatest fighters, not favourites, but pound for pound greatest. So I was kind of like, that sounds like a challenge. So I started making a list. As with all these lists, they're particularly difficult to narrow down, so I did my best. So my top 10, pound for pound. Number 10, Joe Louis, former world heavyweight champion, longest reigning world heavyweight champion in history, and the most consecutive title defences as well, 25. 9, Thomas the Hitman Hearns, one of the first two, back then, two guys to win world titles in 5 weight divisions. Welterweight, light middleweight, super middleweight, which was a new division at the time, and light heavyweight. Number 8, Pernell Whitaker. He's a personal favourite of mine. I've always enjoyed watching Whitaker's fights. He was just so smooth. He was so defensively, punches from angles. His defence was fantastic. I still maintain he beat Oscar De La Hoya back in '97, but there you go. Number 7, Marvellous Marvin Hagler, one of the greatest middleweights of all time. Was very unlucky again in the Leonard fight. If he'd have beaten Leonard in that fight, if he got the decision that night, and it could have gone his way. It was one of those weird fights. What did you like? Did you like the flashy, showy stuff, or did you like the aggression and ring generalship? But anyway, if he'd have got the win over Leonard that night, I think he would have been higher on my list. Number 6, Roberto Duran, as everyone knows, my favourite fighter of all time. 4-weight world champion. Was it 4 weights? Yeah, lightweight, welterweight, light middleweight, and middleweight. Absolutely fantastic. He fought on too long, which damaged his legacy, in my opinion. I mean, he only retired in 2001. I think he was 50 at the time, because he was in a car accident. But I guarantee you, if he hadn't have been injured, he'd probably still be fighting now. He's well into his 70s now. Number 5, Sugar Ray Leonard. Again, absolute legend. The retirements and the eye injury didn't help. And obviously he went on. Again, he came back too many times. He lost to Terry Norris in '91, and then Hector Camacho in '97, and he shouldn't have been there. He was well past it. He's talked about his drug problems and things like that. But you think, the win over Hagler, again, very debatable. Even to this day, everybody debates it. It's what you liked. But on the record shows, he won. He beat Tommy Hearns. He beat Duran after the loss. He beat Duran in the immediate rematch, made him look silly and made him quit. Just absolute phenomenal fighter. Number 4, Hammering Henry Armstrong, or Homicide Hank, or Hurricane Hank, whatever nickname you choose. Yeah, the only man to hold 3 world titles in 3 weight divisions at the same time. I mean, and especially more difficult back then because there was only one world title back then in the 30s. Yeah, there was one title, the NBA, which is now what became the WBA, but that was it. There was no other sanctioning body. So imagine that, being basically undisputed champion in 3 divisions at the same time. That's crazy. Number 3, Floyd Money Mayweather. Probably unpopular with some people, but you can't argue the guy was pretty much untouchable. He wasn't much of a power puncher, but his defence, his ring generalship, he could figure an opponent out, any opponent. Wasn't always the prettiest to watch, I will say. His style was a bit, it could turn some people off, but I always enjoyed watching his fight. Just watching the guy was, even if he was struggling in the fight, like he struggled with Mosley or struggled with Madonna, or Zab Judah gave him some problems, but he could always adapt and find a way to win. So absolutely fantastic fighter. Number 2, Muhammad Ali, the greatest of all time, greatest heavyweight of all time, in my opinion. The man's a legend, After his exile in the 60s, he came back, and he lost to Frazier, but he came back. He beat Frazier in 2 rematches. He beat George Foreman 10 years after he originally won his first world title. Again, he went on too long, but what he accomplished for the sport. Well, I'm just talking sports-wise, not just as a man. Absolute legend. And number 1, it has to be Sugar Ray Robinson. I know, again, he went on too long. He had a bit of a weird career, and I think he had some drug problems in his past as well. But no, the guy, as a welterweight especially, and in his early middleweight days, absolutely untouchable. There was no one could touch him. He's the perfect all-round fighter in history, in my opinion. Punch power, hand speed, defence, footwork. Just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, he would have held the light heavyweight title had the heat not got to him. He got outlasted by Joey Maxim in that fight. And fair play to Maxim. I mean, he was fighting in that horrible heat as well. But just think if he'd have won that. But anyway, he's absolutely fantastic. I quite regularly watch old footage of Robinson, and just an absolute fucking wizard in the ring, absolute master. So yeah, that's just mine. A few honourable mentions. Some people who missed out are Salvador Sanchez, one of my favourite Mexican fighters. Carlos Monzon from Argentina. Emil Griffith, what a fantastic fighter. If you ever get a chance to check out his fights with Nino Benvenuti or Benny Kid Paret, unfortunately Paret died in their 3rd fight, but they were fantastic fights. He was a fantastic fighter. Jack Johnson, first black heavyweight champion. Again, I mean, there's not a lot of footage around, but what there is, he was just a monster. He was a big guy for the time. I mean, the Galveston Giant, he was known as. And he was so slick, so smooth, and hit hard as well. Marco Antonio Barrera and Eric Morales, they just narrowly missed out again. I grew up with them. People are going to complain Pacquiao's not on here. And I liked Pacquiao, and I love Pacquiao. I followed his career for a long time. But he doesn't quite crack. I mean, again, in years to come, people may look back and put him in their top 10. But I'm just talking, this is my opinion. I've narrowed it down as best I can. So yeah, so there you go. So will Lomachenko one day be on that list? Who the hell knows? Depends. If he beats Haney, then he's in there with a chance. But if Haney beats Lomachenko in May, I think May the 20th, which is actually my birthday. So yeah, that'll be a good birthday present if the fight actually happens. Because anything boxing's nothing's set in stone, is it? So no, I'll look forward to that if it happens. And if Haney wins that, it puts him on the map. I mean, a lot of people shit on him. Oh, he's only beat Kambosos. Look, he beat the man who beat the man. Lomachenko lost to Lopez. Lopez lost to Kambosos. Haney beat him. Okay, everyone moaned, oh, it took the piss. Oh, the email champion, he was basically emailed the WBC title when Lomachenko vacated it. That's not his fault. That's not his fault at all. You know, people give him too much shit. To me, he's the modern Mayweather, in my opinion. He's maybe not the most exciting guy to watch. He does just enough to win. He coasts a lot. But he was both those fights with Kambosos. He was never in any danger. You know, he was in control of both of those fights. The only person I've ever really noticed give him problems was Linares. But I personally put that down to, I mean, I love Jorge Linares. He was a personal favourite of mine to watch because he was exciting, because you never knew if he was going to win or if he was going to get taken out, because he was a bit fragile around the whiskers occasionally. So, yeah, there is that. But, you know, this is boxing is very subjective. It's what you like, isn't it? I mean, some of you watching this will look at my list and go, well, that's bullshit. Why isn't so and so on there? Or why is that guy higher than that guy? Look, it's just an opinion. I'd love to hear your opinions. You know, who your pound for pound all times are. You know, this is what I love, interacting with people on Instagram, especially at Hooks and Crosses 1983 on Instagram. If you ever want to look it up, I post daily. Usually a lot of boxing history on there. And DM me if you want to chat. DM me. I like interacting with people, chatting to people. It's fantastic, and it helps me a lot. So that's enough out of me. Like I say, I just wanted to talk about the announcement that Haney will be defending his titles against Lomachenko. I'm looking forward to that. I mean, it kind of looked that way anyway after Lomachenko's last fight when Haney jumped straight in the ring. It makes sense, you know. And then I'd like to see who the winner of that fight, the likes of Lopez, people like that. I mean, Lopez didn't look particularly good in his last fight, but there you go. That's boxing for you. So take care, folks, and I'll speak to you soon.